Today, I'm going to share with you how to create multiple offers to increase your acceptance ratio of offers accepted. And we're starting right now. My name is Chris Goff, and welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to start or grow your real estate investing business, start now by subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss anything. Your goal as a real estate investor is to get the seller to say yes, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So what does multiple offer mean? Making more than one offer to the seller at the same time. Your offers include a cash discount offer, seller finance, and a lease option. If you give just one offer, just think about it. This would be the easiest for the seller to say no because it's a take it or leave it approach. If you give two or even three, at least you've doubled your chance. And with three, you've tripled your chances of getting the deal or at least more negotiation with the seller. So multiple strategies. The very first one we want to talk about is wholesaling, and this would be at a cash or discount price. Retailing would be the exact same thing, cash at a discount price. Seller finance would be considered a term strategy. Lease option, a term strategy. With understanding multiple strategies, you have the best of both worlds. You can offer a cash, meaning paid in one lump sum offer, or you can offer terms, which is how much down, how much a month, and how long can we do it for. And you're going to do all of this by providing different types of offers. You can learn more about each strategy by clicking the links in the description below. I highly encourage you to at least understand one cash strategy and one term strategy. Now, why make multiple offers? Number one, it gives options. By providing the seller with options, they get so confused on which offer to take that they fail to realize that they don't have to take any of them. More likely to say yes. Again, giving the seller more options increases your chances of them saying yes. Think about if you were going to buy some shorts, but they only had them in one color. You might settle for that color, but if there were three colors, you'd be more likely to buy. It's the same thing in making multiple offers. Trust. Yes, you will build even more trust because making multiple offers isn't just about getting the deal. You're opening the seller's mind to other ways that they may not have thought of, and thanks to you, you're helping them. Makes you look unique. That's right. How many other investors out there are making multiple offers? Most of them only make one. You will look more experienced, knowledgeable, and you'll stand out from the crowd. So when would you make multiple offers? Well, your approach for most leads is that you want to buy a property. Keep it simple. Then lead into other questions like, do you need to be cashed out or would you accept monthly payments short term? If they say no, either stop here or schedule an appointment to view the property depending on their motivation. If yes, continue to some additional questions. Now, even if the seller isn't interested in a terms deal, I'll still move forward and present a terms deal after I've seen the property. There's a lot of people that immediately say no, but after meeting you, building trust and opening their mind to other ways to sell, and when you put the numbers on paper, you'll be shocked at how many people take a second look at those offers they declined in the beginning. This is how our acceptance ratio increased by 60%. Here's some additional questions. If we can agree on price and accept responsibility for future repairs, would you consider a lease purchase or seller financing? Notice that I said lease purchase versus a lease option. Usually when I'm talking to a seller, I use the word lease purchase. When I'm talking to a buyer, it's a lease option. If no, either stop here or schedule an appointment to view the property. If yes, ask the following. What is the least amount of down payment you would accept? What monthly payment would you accept? How long of a term are you willing to go? Is there any existing financing on the property? Does your monthly payment include taxes and insurance? Now let me ask you, what offers would you make on a house that was in fairly good shape, nice yard, looks in great condition? How many offers would you actually make? You could obviously make a cash offer, right? It doesn't matter the condition of the property or if it's depressed. A lot of people will just take the cash offer, move on because of the burden of owning the property. You could also make a seller finance offer as well as a lease option offer. I would then present all three offers to the homeowner. What about this property that appears that it needs a ton of work? Now, obviously a cash offer, we want to get that discount price, but you could also throw out a seller finance, make payments, fix up the home, turn around and resell it, or whatever exit strategy you choose. The only one that I would not recommend in this particular situation is a lease option. The one thing you don't want to do is to put a ton of money in a property you don't own. If you make the cash offer, you're going to own it. If you sell or finance it, you're going to own it, but not in a lease option. So I generally like to stick with nicer homes that are in better condition. Now, I'd highly encourage you to check out these specific videos where we can go into more detail on how to structure each one of these offers. You can see that in the description below. So let me show you a case study. So after researching this particular property, the after repaired value ARV was $246,500. Also check the rent value in this area because again, we don't know what our exit strategy is going to be at this point. $1,600. Just the basics. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, about 2,200 square feet. The owner's situation is that they got a job transfer. So they took a new job and they needed to move in order to take the new job. After going through the property, the repairs, it was very minor, some updating, things of that nature. We calculated at $25,000, assuming if we were to put it back in tip-top shape. The loan balance on the property was right around $145,000. Their asking price was $220,500. We also noticed that this property was on the market for 93 days. Now, before we get into the actual offers, the one thing I really want you to understand is how we structure these. So the cash offers based on purchase price will always be the lowest. Seller finance will be in the middle, and the lease option will always have the highest purchase price. Now, why the purchase price? Well, that's what most sellers are going to notice first, is the purchase price. We don't want all of our purchase prices to be roughly the same. Should always have a bottom, middle, and the highest. So offer number one was our cash offer, meaning we're going to pay the seller in one lump sum. So the purchase price was $142,585. Now this would be our starting price for the home due to the amount of repairs, holding, closing, selling, and profits. This would also be our max offer for the home, which is quite different from the asking price. Now there is some flexibility, so we would start here, but it was kind of already our max offer at the same time. We already know that this price is less than their loan balance. So it was very unlikely that they would actually accept this, but you never know until you make the offer. We could actually bump this up to a break-even point. You would then either wholesale this property or retail this property if this offer was accepted. Offer number two is our seller finance offer. Purchase price $185,630. You notice how odd some of these numbers are. We want to keep some of the sales price numbers a little odd. Down payment of $5,000, interest rate at 4%. That gave us a monthly principal and interest payment at $862.36. Also need to calculate the taxes and insurance, which was $308. Total monthly payment to the seller would be $1,170.36. We're going to do this for a term of 5 years. Now, I did amortize this over a course of 30 years, but a term of 5 years, meaning we're going to make these payments to the seller. We have to cash them out. Whatever the balance owed at that particular time, we would need to go to the bank and refinance it. We could also sell the property at that time. Now, this would be the best offer based on the seller not having to worry about the property because remember, we're going to own the property. We're also going to cover their payments this way. This would also receive a little bit of money down to maybe help them move, so that $5,000 might be very attractive to the person if they really needed the cash. Offer number three is our lease option offer. So we set the purchase price at $215,680. Down payment of $2,000. Again, that would be applied to the purchase price. Monthly payment was $1,250. We didn't do a monthly credit, just taking in consideration that we're already a little bit less than their asking price, and I like to try to get as close to their asking price, so I don't want to beat them up with monthly credits. We set the term for 3 years. Now, this would be the best offer based on the purchase price. It would cover their monthly payments in a shorter term than the seller financing, but a little bit less money down. So as you can see, we have a lot of different variations of what's going on. If you just want to get rid of the property, take the cash offer. If you just don't want to worry about the property and make a little bit less money, do the seller finance. Or if you want to max out exactly what you were trying to get for it, you might want to take the lease option offer. You always need to decide your exit strategy. Now, if they took the cash offer, we could wholesale it. We could fix it up, retail it, sell it to a qualified buyer. We could seller finance it because we're going to own it. We could lease option the property out. We also could rent it. So as you can see, you have a lot of exit strategies here. Now, if they took the seller finance offer, we could technically wholesale the seller finance agreement to another investor. We could fix the property up and maybe sell it out, seller finance it, lease option it, and rent it. So as you can see in both scenarios, the exit strategies could be very similar. Just the simple fact that you're going to own the property, whereas a lease option, you would not own the property. You could actually wholesale or assign your lease option agreement to a buyer. You could retail it, but like I said, I don't want to put a lot of money into a property that I don't own. You could turn around and lease option it, stay in the middle, and you could technically rent it, which would probably be the least profitable exit strategy with a lease option. So the seller accepted the lease option, and always the big question, why? Why that one? Well, number one, they needed to move. And keep in mind, they had it on the market for 93 days. They was just tired of waiting. Little money down, a little bit of, non-refundable cash, people could use that, and especially helping with moving. It covers their payment. A lot of people just want to get that payment cover, especially after sitting on a property that hasn't sold. Just think about all the people that have come and looked at the property and nobody bought it. Right? What was wrong with it? Did it just need too much in repairs? Did somebody not like the paint color? What was it? So at this point, your motivation changes. And sometimes sellers is just like, look, I just want the payment covered, because it's difficult for the seller to continually make a payment on this property. And at the same time, they got to go live somewhere else, wherever that job transfer is. And also, out of the 3 offers, this was the highest sales price, right? So we're going to buy it at a much higher price doing it this way. And just think about, maybe they haven't even received an offer, and here you gave them 3. So with them deciding on the lease option offer, what is our exit strategy? So if we look at the seller and us, I'm just going to throw down the terms of that particular agreement. What we're going to do is lease option this back out to a new buyer. So we're going to set that new purchase price at $235,000. Now, keep in mind that is less than the tip-top shape. Down payment of $8,000, monthly payment at $1,550. So the rent value was actually a little bit higher than this, but we're not going to put this property back into tip-top shape. We're not going to spend $25,000 to do a lease option on. Monthly credit was 0. If we're not going to get a credit, we're not going to give anybody else a credit. We're going to do a term of 1 year. So you have 3 years with the seller, but we're going to put this buyer on a 1-year term. So they either buy the property within that year. You could extend the agreement another year. You could find a new lease option buyer. You have definitely some options here if they do not buy. Just want to make a note that we put $5,000 into the property just for a cleanup, just to get it ready. Now, although $25,000 would have put it in tip-top shape, remember, we just need livable properties where we can do a lease option. You'll find a lot of buyers, they'll go in and change the paint color and kind of make it their own. So our first profit center was the difference in down payment. So the new buyer gave us $8,000, but we had to give the seller $2,000. And also remember, we put $5,000 into the property. So in this particular case, we only made $1,000. Now the second profit center is the difference in monthly payments. So the new buyer is paying $1,550. We're paying the seller $1,250. It's going to give us a $300 per month positive cash flow. Keep in mind, on a property we don't even own. The third profit center is going to be the difference in sales price. So the new buyer is buying it for $235,500, but keep in mind they put $8,000 down, so their balance is $227,500. And with us and the seller, we owe them $215,680 minus the $2,000, which equals that $213,680. Total $13,820 with the difference in those prices. Now, of course, there'll be some closing costs that might eat into that particular profit, but just to keep the example simple here, total profit on the deal was $18,420. Now, the seller could have went in multiple different directions. As far as we are concerned as an investor, I don't really care which offer that you take, because we're going to have an exit strategy that's going to be profitable to begin with. Otherwise, we wouldn't have made that offer. Now, everything you see was done in REIPro from, we ran the comps, all the phone scripts, we created the offers and sent the offer letters we have already built into REIPro. If you're not an REIPro member, you can start a free trial today by going to www.myreipro.com. More offers accepted equals more deals. It's pretty simple. I put together a video that's going to teach you how to buy Airbnbs with creative financing. You can see that video right here on your screen, and be sure to subscribe so you can receive more videos about real estate investing the correct way. And I'll see you on the next training video where we're going to be talking about purchasing high cash flow properties without going to the bank and begging for a loan.